welcome YouTube, and if you've read the title, you're probably going, Salsa, you must have lost it. What do you mean, Quake 2, the future of video games? It's a retro classic, it's from 1997, for heaven's sake. How can it be the future? Well, first of all, let's get into a bit of what I'm on about, because something has been released today. I'm going to put a screen up there, sorry. And, well, we're going to take a little bit of a trip, because, I mean, Quake 2, you're used to seeing differently. And, I mean, before you really think that I am truly out of my googly-eyed mind, we're going to jump into Quake 2 in VR. Hey, how you doing? So, this is Quake 2 in VR. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's there. I'm here in Quake 2 and that red sky. And this is like with classic stuff and all gubbins. How you doing, by the way? Oh, I hear somebody. So on your screen, this really does look like the classic. Oh, you can see there. Oh, you can see that. Oh, okay. That's what I can see. Let's put that maybe down here as well, actually. Hey, Alex. I wasn't sure who it was before. Here we go. So, yeah. This is Quake 2, basically. I'm pretty good. I'm in Quake 2, as you can see. Literally in Quake 2. And I'm going on about which sound, because I'm hearing a really loud sound. Me talking or the game? Because I hope the game is kind of a bit quiet. Or is it non-existent? It's going to change something on me again. Just a second. Oh. What have we got? We've got that going to Realtek audio output. Okay. We want to use desktop advanced device. Realtek. Digital output. And Realtek digital output, that should be matching. And then we should be able to go there. Hopefully, is that working? No, that's not working. I can't see that working yet. Why is that not working? This is, awkward. I know, let's, Realtek. Oh. Let's make it so you can hear exactly what I hear. That should hopefully do it. Fingers crossed. Once more. There you go, game sound. Hey, You can hear it. Thanks, Alex. Right, so, so there we go. So I'm here in VR in what is essentially the classic version of Quake. No problem, thank you for pointing it out. So, what am I going on about the future of VR, well, games? And this title here, which as you can see, looks all retro-y and good. It looks like the original thing, except for me, it's actually here in VR. You know, I can see my hands and depth and all of that, and it's amazing. And if you want details on how to do this, by the way, Nathi VR, you know, Nathi has got a good video on it, which is where I got it, because this has been out for quite a while. This particular version of Quake has been available in VR since like 2 years ago. In fact, it was available since these touch controllers came out. So how can this be the future? Well, Nvidia released a little something else today. Nvidia released a ray-traced version of Quake 2. Now, strictly speaking, it's path-traced. And I want to kind of like go through and show you some of the differences that ray tracing can make to a game like this, and particularly the differences that it could make to VR. Because if you can do this game as it is, modded... Oh! Into VR, then maybe the RTX version, you could take that RTX version and add the VR mod into the RTX version. And then you could have VR ray traced game, which should really be amazing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this VR game, well, this classic retro game that's been turned into VR, and then also given the latest technology, the latest real-time ray tracing technology, mash the two of them, or should I say the three of them together, and we should be able to get something pretty damn special. I mean, I just want to kind of like show you a couple of places maybe in here where that could possibly be a thing that would be really cool. So here I am showing you the VR version, and oh, I kind of, you know, want to show you a bit of this here in the VR side. Then I'm going to show you a bit of RTX footage, so you can get an idea of what one looks like when you compare it to the other. So here we have what will essentially on your screen look very much like the original. maybe the edges of these boxes will look sharper to you because they are sharper, but texturally wise, this is the same game as the original, except I'm doing it in VR. You know, it's the same. It's like, here you go, low textures, the lighting is the same as it ever was, the sounds are the same, gameplay, it's all here just as it always was. We're still fragging people in the same manner. And it's really enjoyable in VR, I do have to say. I love this in VR. So, why do I think it's really going to be something amazing when it comes to seeing this in ray tracing? What difference could ray tracing possibly make to this? I mean, check this out, okay? Here's going to be one of my benchmarks for it. We're going to be looking down here. I'm going to go fire. Down here, you can see we've got some lighting on this gun effect. There's no reflections. You can see how the lights are working. It's actually got some good working stuff there. This water's kind of looking a bit bland. It's just a transparent texture. Yeah, it looks pretty bland. Now, let's change that around, shall we? We're going to come out of VR. I don't do this very often. We're going to go to the 2D world of the flat screen because what I'm hoping some talented person on GitHub is going to do.
This is amazing. Let's hope they bring some other games out like this, like Wolfenstein or even Duke Nukem.
Oh yeah, there's already some different things that are modded. I mean, this is just a modded version, which all the code for this is available on GitHub. What I'm about to show you is the 2D version, the RTX version, which Nvidia has released the source code for on GitHub. So what I'm hoping is someone with a bit more talent in the modding of this will be able to go to GitHub, look at what Nvidia's done, and the VR version of this, and put the two together. Because when you see what I'm about to show you, for looks wise, with the ray tracing, it's incredible. So we're going to come out of here. Where is it? It's there. Quit. Yes, I do. I want to quit. Why? Where's the why? Because we want to show you something else.
VR says Wolfenstein already exists in VR.
Betterer. I'm gonna need this mic. So, and I'm gonna need my headphones. 1 second. Yep, you're quite right. Wolfenstein already exists in VR. There is a lot of games out there, classic retro games. So, bring you a little bit closer there. But there's quite a lot of retro games out there that is, of course, already modded. And Wolfenstein is no exception, but here, Quake 2 has now been fully path traced. ray traced if you want to call it, path traced, however you want to call it. And if you actually have a copy of the full game, which is easy enough to get, you can play the full game ray traced, which is what we're going to do in a second. Play. Right, just need to add this in here. Game capture. Hopefully. Why is it not allowing me to capture? Not allowing me to capture. Just a second.
Veted's VR says, "Oh, sorry, Salsa, I just logged on and saw Alex's comment about Wolfenstein and presumed they meant a VR version." Veted's VR says, "Anyway, back to the football now. See ya, smiley face."
Okay, Vitted. Hopefully, your team wins and stuff. I don't watch the video, as you know, the football, as you probably know. Right. I need to capture. No, not that. It's gonna be a pain. Why does it want to be a pain? Game capture. Okay. I'm gonna try and get this to show. For some reason or another, it doesn't want to let me show this. Yeah, it's not wanting to let me show this. I'll just try another way. Why? Always annoying when things like this happen. I thought it'd be simple, but no. Display capture. Okay, it's still not letting me capture. This is really annoying. Why? There we go. Okay. Yes. So, here we have Quake. It looks a lot different. And, basically, you can remember there was a red sky out there before. That's all dark. And it looks a good bit different. We're going to get to about the same point, and hopefully you'll see some of the big differences here. And hopefully, I mean, that's super nighttime out there. How do you turn a flashlight on? Flares. Yeah? How cool is that? I mean, that is crazy, isn't it? Imagine doing this type of lighting in VR. It doesn't make as big an impact to me at the moment because, well, this is the 2D screen mode and it's not quite as fun to be on a 2D screen as it is to be in a full-on VR screen. But it gives you an idea of some things that are possible in terms of lighting. What different lighting can bring. Ooh, hell, where are we going? That way. Okay. Let's down this way. So I'm hoping somebody out there really knows what they're doing and can add this path-traced RTX goodness in with that lovely VR goodness and give us something that's truly, truly amazing. Because at the moment... Oh. Just seeing what this does with the light. How all that light and shadow works like a real life thing is amazing. I mean, this entire game, everything, all the ambient light, the spotlights, the surfaces, they all have, they're all ray traced. They're all, you know, well, excuse me, we'll be technical here, we'll call it what it really is, path traced. So the entire game is path traced in real time. I know you can see up there it says 60 FPS. As you can see, it's locked at 60 FPS. So it's locked to my desktop resolution, which is only 1080p. And at the moment, for whatever reason, my operating system thinks my monitor is only capable of 60 FPS. So it's kind of locked it to 60, 61 FPS. Came past here in VR and I did a bit of that. Let's go down there so you can see what that point looks like as well. I mean, check that out. All that dynamic lighting goodness. It's nuts. All the shadows that come from all this. It's just looks crazy good. And there's more. There is more than just the lights and the shadow that comes from all the path tracing. Get him. Come on. Shotgun. Ready? Yeah, shotgun. Missed him. Oh, ho, ho. That was dodgy. Give me ammo. Right, on to the next bit where we was almost at with the VR. Loading in.
access Quake sector 430.
Whoa! We're relentless, aren't we? We're very cruel to them. Oh, come on. So, yeah. I really just want to put this out there. Somebody please take the GitHub that Nvidia has put out there and add the VR part to it. So there's a GitHub of the RTX stuff using the Vulkan engine and all this path tracing stuff. And there's a GitHub with the VR part. So maybe you could make a marriage of the two and give us the world's first fully path traced VR game. That would be really, really awesome. And that's a bit of a pointer to the future, I think. If you can do that. Because people could say, oh, well, it's only about lights and shadows or reflections. But that's what everything is about. That's what our entire world exists of. Light and shadows and reflections. I mean, you can't see light or shadows without light and reflections and bounce lights and colours and everything. But this is where this gets even better. And I need to deal with some bad guys to be able to show you that. Because if you can see back there, there's actually reflections. This is a glass-like surface. These displays are actually glass-like surfaces. We'll show you. There's our feet. There's our feet in the there's us reflected in here. Bounce lights, all of that stuff. It's all here working. It's incredible. Yeah? There we go, there's us. Reflected in the surface properly with real lighting. And the whole RTX thing going on. That is just awesome cool. Now, like I say, if that was VR, that would just be another level on this, because all this lighting effects really do actually make quite the big difference. Oh, he almost got me. I forgot to pick up a good weapon, didn't I? There was a good weapon somewhere. There it is. I forgot that. We want that. Definitely helps. Right. Up here with the lift. Through here. To the right. And on the right. Huh? Right. Now, here we go again. This same spot that was in before, there's our unfortunate friend. Check this out as well first. How good does that look?
Marines were at 5% ground force operational status.
Check this out. Proper reflections with the liquid. So now this water is no longer just transparent. It's actually showing reflections. It's showing everything. All of the lighting here is getting reflected. Anything that's here is getting properly reflected. So we know that the ledge above me, for example, which is there, you can see the how that's cut out. Yeah? When we lighten this up, we can see that reflection in the water here. This is not screen space. This is outside of the screen space. That's off of the render. So that reflection is a proper reflection. That's correct. And I can see there was a bad guy. You saw the bad guy. You can see him wandering around there. Now imagine if you're in VR and you can see the bad guy by looking in the water and then go, huh? And react like that. That's next level stuff. And that's where I'm coming from. That's where some of this is going. Yes, it's not really fully realised yet. There are performance issues with RTX and real-time ray tracing and stuff like that. But if you can get this to maintain the FPS, an old game like this, just adding that light is something that could be truly, truly special. Ah! We got him. And this guy, where are you? Ah! So, yeah. What do you guys think? You know, if you're new to the channel as well, leave a comment down below. You know, tell me, do you think I'm nuts here on thinking, hey, they've taken this old game that is free for people to mod, and they've modified it, brought it up to date with the latest driving technology, you know, latest drivers, latest in real-time ray tracing technology, and implemented it into a game that's from 1997. You know, am I crazy for thinking that this would be brilliant in VR? I mean, it looks so good to me. I can't remember how to activate an item like that. How do you activate an item like that? It's going to be like E or something. Nope. Don't know how to activate an item. Can't remember the button to activate an item. But, that's hardly the point. The point is that this... Ooh, that thing is ugly. Not the game. The game is like, strangely for a game that is so old, it's so beautiful. And it's just because of the light and the reflections and everything just looking good and right. It's got some extra atmosphere. I mean, I can... I mean, look at this. This is like some seriously stylized stuff. All the shadows are properly shadowed. When you see stuff like this in a normal game, where it's all baked and faked and whatever, You don't get that very often. I mean, you can. There are some modern games that, you know, do really, really well. They don't do that. They really don't do this level. Where you know that the shadows going on really look shadow-like. I mean, some of this stuff could, you know, you could possibly creep yourself out with your own shadow in VR. And that's the type of thing I think would be actually really, really cool. Sounds kind of sadistic, that, doesn't it? To be creeped out by your own shadow in VR. I think that's an awesome thing that could happen and should happen. And hopefully, as they learn more about ray tracing and optimizing it, and optimizing more in the VR world. I need a blue key. Where's the blue key? Is it up there or down here? Oh. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. You know.
Squad leaders coordinate with sister teams.
You can see the reflections in here. I mean, how cool does that look? It's awesome, isn't it? This in VR would just, it would just rock. I mean, without RTX, it rocks. So, look at this. You've got actual frosted glass here. It's messing around with the reflections and the light properly. So if I do something like, look at how good that looks. It's brilliant. Okay, what's it doing? There's blue key. We needed a blue key. We got a blue key. I'm just like, this is so cool. But, as cool as this is, it's still, you know, it's not cool enough. What we really need is this in VR. Then we're really talking. Because if this can actually do this in VR and maintain the FPS, boom, mind blown. Even in VR, if you could actually take some of this stuff that's in these cards, these RTX cards, that potential of however you're offsetting one part of a render process with another part of a render process with this extra silicon that's in here, the RT cores and the Tensarc cores, if that can be used to accelerate stuff and make some of this, you know, this whole stuff here happen in VR, it's going to be awesome. You know, again, let me know what you guys think in comments and stuff like that, because this is just where you'd expect shadows to be. I mean, there's a light there, and this is all lit up in that colour, and there's a shadow there, but there's a bit of light coming in across here, and you know, it literally does work. I mean, let's show you a little bit in here.
Beer mug, thumbs up, medium skin tone.
How you doing, Drunk Gamer? How you doing? As you can hear, my nose is still not 100% fixed. I do finally have things to help. But yeah, we're here in Quake 2. We're in Quake 2. Right, so you guys can see as well. So here's the normal OpenGL renderer. So this is what Quake 2 normally looks like.
Drunk Gamer says, stopping by to see what you is up to.
Yeah, I'm showing what the future of video games could be with Quake 2. So this is Quake 2 as we've all known and loved it in the past. Can't remember how to activate items. Do you know? E. Ah, that's it. Oops, I activated it already. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, damn. Oh, well, never mind. Oh, I need that to do... It's acid! Help! It burns! It burns! No, it didn't, because I had the activated suit. Yay me! Okay, so we have a pool of nasty looking acid. We're going to switch back into RTX mode. RTX off. RTX on. Now with our pool of acid, it actually has proper reflection. So if I look down there, look, there's the lights. Check that out. How cool is that? It looks so good. Now, my entire premise is, this is amazing. It looks so different and amazing. But imagine doing this with actual ambient lighting. Yeah? That this has. This has got ambient lighting, which is super expensive to do with pathtraced. All these spotlights and everything else like that, they're all path traced and stuff. Real reflections, you can see parts of the ceiling and transparency all in there, working together seamlessly like they do in real life. All the shadows being cast, there's like nice little subtle shadows around the edges, all that you can see, like this area here, all these subtle shadows. That is really, really cool. Now, if that was in VR, it's got some amazing potential. Of course, what do we generally like? We like the VR side here.
Says, pretty sweet looking.
Yeah. This is, you know, look, it's all dark down there. You got light sources up here. Not much down there, so it's all dark. It's proper dark. There we go. You bounce light off of things. It all works. I know that's catching the phrase, you know, Nvidia's phrase that is the typical joke was RTX. You know, it just works. Well, wah! We need some extra firepower to take care of these guys. Ouch. So that's pretty sweet. Now, if we step away from this, let's step away from this. We want to quit game, and we are going to go back into the VR. Where's the VR version? Quake 2 VR. Right, let's get the headset on. Get the mic.
Indicate possible camouflage access in wet sector 43 Zulu.
Right. Oh, here we go. So, as you can see, here is, again, original Quake, but this time in VR. And we're going to load a game from where we was here, again. And, you know, visually this looks like RTX off mode. But if this could be done with RTX on, that felt like, this feels like it's going to come off. I need some extra sticky stuff. If someone's got a better way of mounting this mod mic apart from up here, I didn't like it there, please tell me. I would love that. So, ooh, let's get to safety because
Wet sector 43 Zulu.
yeah, my mic is coming off the side here. It's rather distracting. It's also a case if I want to be able to see there we go, and there. Back in here. Okay. So, oh god, my mic is really swaying around, isn't it? That's not good. I need more sticky stuff to hold this in place. I'll try not to sway around. But yeah, my whole premise is this VR game, or this VR mod, which is available on GitHub. If someone with the expertise wants to take this GitHub project and blend it with the Nvidia's version of the path-traced Quake 2, those two things put together could possibly be something very special, especially if we could actually get that running with some reasonable frame rates and everything else like that. That, I think, you know, that's going to be the real future here of VR games. It would be definitely it would definitely be so awesome. Right. Because as you saw before, these consoles all had reflections on them. Here they don't. They're just flat. Whereas in the RTX version, this is one big mirrored surface where you can see all of this. This was a mirrored surface. All these little bits here were like mirrored surfaces. They were awesome. They were amazing. And that is what we need here.
Marines, we're at 5% ground force operational
Oh. So this, instead of being all flat light, in RTX, you know, the ray tracing, path tracing, everything that's happening there, this would look absolutely incredible. It would take on a new life. Yes, of course, this is the lower res textures. The other version, the RTX version, has the high res textures in there. So place the high res textures and the lighting, and this game is then transformed into something much more immersive. Because I mean, VR adds something truly amazing in immersion. But it's all about adding that little bit extra. And as far as I'm concerned, getting to the point where shadows and light and reflections and things like that
force operational status.
actually look like the real thing in VR, that's the point at which we've got to be looking for. And it's tech demos like this that really do make it happen. So, yeah. Basically, that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from, this would be absolutely amazing in VR with all of that RTX goodness. I heard somebody. See, again, here, when I'm looking down, we'll go to this place up here. So we can see this up here like I did before. In the RTX version, when I was looking down, it was like there was the reflections. You could see all of this in the surface of the water. I could do this, and you'd see the light and the changes in the reflections. There was a guard walking past up there. I could see the guard in the water walking past. If I could do that in VR, that would be mind-blowing. I mean, that's a real game changer. That would just be, hello, welcome to the revolution. It shall be VR. It will be in a headset. Yeah? You may dispute it, you may say, no, it won't be. But look, even this weapon shows light trails along in the scenery, spotlighting. But it doesn't show the reflections in the water. And the water's just a texture on, you know, a semi-transparent texture. Doesn't really convey the watery stuff enough. And that's what we really need conveying.
Marines, we're at 5% ground force operational status.
Is all of this in... Oh, what was that? Imagine this, because, I mean, there's a light here. This would be uber creepy in VR if this was done with RTX and path tracing. Oh, damn. My mic's gone funny side there again. Okay. Really need something to stick this into this, the magnet on the side here to be stuck down properly. Anybody with a solution to that, please chime in. I mean, this would be awesome as well. If you look up here, all that area there, imagine that as daylight and soaking daylight into here, reflections off the pools of water. There's no light under here. Look, here should be in darkness. This entire area where I'm standing in RTX would be in darkness. There would be none of this looking up here and seeing that as lighted up. That'd be dark. That'd be like pitch black. And only reflected light, reflections of light, little bits of reflections of light would maybe light that up, but only indirect light. Or when I do something with a weapon, would this all get then lit up? Imagine what that does to immersion. A hell of a lot. A hell of a lot. It would create atmosphere the likes of which we haven't seen yet. Ooh. How do we get in there? Have I got something to go bang bang? No, I have no grenades. But I can do that. But that was just a gun that I already have. Oh well, never mind. We can go this way as well. Now, I could jump down there. Or I could go up.
Marines, we're at 5% ground force operational status.
So, yeah. That's where I'm coming from. Quake 2 is the future of VR gaming. And gaming in general. It really is. Because it's a perfect tech spec. It was here for VR, and it can also be here for ray tracing. Well, it is here for ray tracing and path tracing. And it can possibly, just possibly, if someone out there is smart enough, it could be a test bench for what VR will look like when it's fully path traced. Any volunteers please pick up the torch, run with it, go with it, do it. I would love to be streaming it. You know, even if I wasn't streaming it, I'd still love to play it. So, oh, there's something else that needs to be done to get that door open. There's a switch.
Marines, we're at 5% ground force operational status.
Switch, switch. How do I throw the switch? Oopsie. And we've ended up back down here. But that's what I'm saying about. If you agree, you know, please chime in. Give some comments. That's what we like. We like some comments. And if somebody out there has actually already is on it, you know, please tell me. I would love to help testing this stuff out or whatever. It would be great, because that would just be super, super cool, and I would absolutely love it, because it would be great. Come on, you know you need to get in the annals of video game history by making something that would be the first fully path-traced VR game. How cool would that be? How cool would that be? I don't know where I'm going from here, but there it is. It's too awesome. Far too awesome.
5% ground force operational status.
We're going to quit from there. I'm going to put it back into the RTX version. Or I'm trying to. So, yeah. So, yeah, here it is. Here's, you know, the whole RTX thing. Why have I got no sound? Because these headphones aren't turned on. Oh, or turned up. So yeah, you can see that if I crouch down there, the liquid so it's got reflections from there, and you can see that whole reflecting across the bounce lighting, how it really does look real, and how you've got parts here, they've got strong lights, the shadows are all nicely darkened. How dark it looks in there. So yeah, I mean, this is as awesome as it gets. Don't you think? I think it's very, very awesome. And you can see just what this could add. See, it's all dark under here. That's what it really works like. What light and shadow and dark and all the different things that happen, how they actually do work. That in VR is gonna just rock. Really would do. So yeah, that's that. That's what I think. Hopefully somebody can pick this up and run with it, and we can go, hey, look at what's possible. Look what's really possible. What just adding that spark of light and shadow, you know, real path traced goodness onto a game like this, and then doing that with VR. The extra depth, the richness in graphical terms that it brings, that lifelike ambience that's brought just by doing stuff like that. And this is where it starts. When you start something new, it's a new journey for video games graphics. Yes, there are performance issues with RTX technology at the moment, definitely. There's performance issues for VR, and the two of them together are both highly demanding things on technology side, especially at the top end. So why not use something from all those years ago, bring it up to date with this newer technology like we're seeing here, and make something truly special to guide the light out there. And, you know, maybe bring some of these retro games back a bit as well, because, let's face it, some of them are really good. They were good games in the first place, and there's a lot of people that haven't played them, so bringing them back as a tech demo like this could be super cool and super fun. Just ask Skyrim. That's doing really, really well as it is, and apparently the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be modelled from the basis of what Skyrim was in terms of longevity.
Says, bring back lemmings.
Bring back lemmings? You can bring back lemmings as long as it's with RTX and VR, because that's what we're doing today. That's what we're looking at. I mean, look at this. This is Quake 2. But like you've never seen it before. With all of the
Stormy Daniels
lighting.
says, Danger Mouse VR.
Oh, Danger Mouse VR, cool. Wow. If you go way, way back to Horace and the Spiders VR, that's probably a thing that is going to make it. Dizzy Island VR. So yeah, that's my whole thing. If we can add all of the lighting goodness that this game has now, it would just be amazing.
Copy that, Recon 1 Charlie. Scanning for
It'd be so amazing. Need the blue key. The blue key's up this way. Wait. Blue key, blue key. Health is good. I want to get to that same point.
Leaders coordinate with sister teams.
So I mean, look at this. This has got all the reflections, off-screen reflections, everything. All of this stuff in VR would add up to something quite amazing. How you been as well, Stormy? I should be more polite.
Says, how has your week been, soldier?
Oh, that's a bit of a loaded question sometimes. But check that. Look at that.
Stormy Daniels says, I have been fine. Weather is off and on.
Yeah. Yes. It is a little bit what's going on. But hey, gotta roll the punches. So, blue key, please. There we go, blue key. So yeah. I think this could be truly, truly amazing if someone wants to get on GitHub
Says,
and change it.
apart from I think I'm going off video games, I don't find them enjoyable much anymore. Not depressed, just don't know.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to sometimes step into VR a bit if you haven't. That'll go dancing. One of the two. Either is good. And then only come back into the games a little bit more if you're going off them. But I know for a lot of people, when it comes to VR, one of the things that VR has given to a lot of people in terms of gaming was a new lease of life
Stormy
to it.
Daniels says, I love ice skating, do the most Saturdays.
There you go, another nice thing. Yeah, doing something that's
Stormy
actually
Daniels
physically active is
says,
always good.
It's good cardio, fun
Yep.
cardio.
Yeah, doing something active is usually good. Definitely. I'm going to leave that stream about there, I think. That's a good shot. I mean, look at this. You've got all of the reflections along these computer panels. And the radiators or whatever, it's all there. That looks really cool. I mean, can you imagine that in VR? But yeah, definitely. Oh, and the screens, look, the light from the screens coming on there. And all the blue light that's sort of like shifted around here. And onto a part of these grates, you can actually see the red reflected off of part of it, the blues reflected off of part of it. That to me is just something really, really amazing. I know it may not seem like that much to a lot of people, but these are proper perspective reflections. That would work so well in VR. But yeah, I do think different things that added cardio and stuff like that were always good. It's what some would call a runner's high or a dancer's high, and possibly if you've got worked up enough, I guess ice skaters can also get that high as well. But the same happens sometimes in VR with a couple of
Stormy
things there.
Daniels says, ice baby.
Too cold. Right. Let's see. Oh, I want to do that. So. that's where we are. That is where we are. No, I want to
Stormy
close
Daniels says, "Word to your mother."
that. So, yeah. Let's not that one. This one. So, once more, just
Indicate possible camouflage access in wet sector 432.
Stormy Daniels says, "I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, with somebody that loves me."
if I get copyrighted just because of music lyrics like that, it would be hilarious, and you could go, yeah, YouTube, yeah, the copyright you put on me was actually for a slightly different performance from yourselves in the shape of your Googlebot. That would be hilarious. Both sad and hilarious at the same time.
Stormy Daniels says, "Who is the singer?"
Madonna. I believe. I think Madonna did that as well, didn't she? Somebody who loves you. Yeah, I think Madonna.
Stormy Daniels
No,
says,
no,
"No."
no, it's not. It's hang on. I know who it is. I know who it is because she's kind of that's her big hit. Tiffany. Tiffany. I think it's Tiffany. Wasn't it Tiffany? Was it Tiffany? Am I right or wrong? Come on, Tiffany. Is it Tiffany? Come on, tell me. Was it Tiffany? Yes or no? I'm gonna know now. Oh no, that was I
Stormy
Think I'm Alone
Daniels
Now.
says, "No, this singer died in 2014.
Ah,
She was black."
let me think there. I'm not sure. No, I got Tiffany mixed up with. Oh. No. I feel the heat was a pie. Tina Turner? Is I thought Tina Turner was still alive, or is she? No, I've totally forgotten it. I went to Tiffany for something
Stormy
else.
Daniels says, "And I will always love you."
Whitney Houston? Really? Damn. Damn, Whitney Houston. Okay. Okay. Fine. Oof. I feel so bad.
Stormy Daniels says, "Yes, yes, yes."
Yes. Right. So yeah, that has been basically the thing. Apart from this, obviously slight change here at the end. Don't know why that happened there, but Oof. There we go. I can move my arm again. Haha. Okay, so yeah,
Thermals indicating camouflage access in white sector 432.
yeah, you can imagine how amazing this would look with all of the RTX stuff done to this. It would just be amazing and would just be so much more immersive just by adding all of that stuff to it. So,
EOD, the current bridge is down.
VR adds a hell of a lot. Oh, adding all the proper real lighting and everything in here would just be truly, truly stunning. But we're going to leave that for tonight's stream. Hopefully somebody out there kind of picks up the torch and says, hey, yeah, you know what? That would be a really good idea. Let's do that. Let's mix Quake 2 VR with Quake 2 RTX. Put them together, and what would you get? I know some would say extremely low frame rates, but we don't need it to be that high. Just high enough to make it work in VR. And the rest will just be super convincing, but anybody out there who wants a little project, I think this is one to look at. It could certainly change the direction of video game history. So, from me, there's going to be a video. No, subscribe button. It's subscribe button that way. And there's going to be a video up there, and there's going to be a video up there. So, press those, make comments, hit likes, press subscribes and notification bells and all that stuff, and I'll probably see you either tomorrow or at the weekend, where hopefully my nose will be a lot better. Good night.